Kaiser, you know, unless the medication I prescribe to you now will help, you face the possibility of going blind.
Joanna, what can you see when you look up there?
The sky, the tree, the yellow lemons and the green lemons.
Can you see any flowers?
No.
Rolf Kaiser and Joanna Ruba are both immigrants to Australia. Their ages and illnesses are different, but their fate is the same. They are both going blind. Welcome to another edition of Vox Populi. Rolf Kaiser from Albury Wodonga is a pensioner. He's of German origin. Mr. Kaiser was told recently that he's going blind from glaucoma, an illness he had never heard of. Today he knows a lot about glaucoma. In fact, he's written a book about it. There are about 8,000 people in Australia today who have been blinded by glaucoma, and 200,000 glaucoma sufferers that face total blindness. However, the most disturbing fact Rolf discovered is that the community is as blissfully unaware of glaucoma as he was when the doctors first told him about it. And that's why he decided to start an awareness crusade.
Glaucoma is sometimes called the sneak thief of sight. In other words, it takes away the sight in a stealthy way before, in fact, you know that you're going blind. For many years now, and certainly since I've come to Sydney, the last 10 years, we have been involved in glaucoma screening. The profession of ophthalmology, the Royal Australian College of Ophthalmologists and individual practitioners, many of whom on a weekend basis voluntarily give their time to glaucoma screenings. But Ralph Kaiser was perhaps the first person in the community who has mounted a crusade on his own to set about increasing community awareness. He is an example of the fact that glaucoma is still not fully understood in the community, so that when he was told, he was shocked. And his response was to get out and try and do something about it.
That's when my doctor told me, well, said, Mr. Kaiser, you know, unless the medication I prescribe to you now will help, you face the possibility of going blind. Now, I was absolutely devastated, I was shocked, I was stunned. I just didn't know what to say. I mean, you know, getting told at 46 years of age, you're going blind. No warning. I had no inkling that there was something wrong with me. It was the eyes. Well, when I got told I was going blind, I'm a very inquisitive person by nature. I did not just accept the fact that I was going blind. I started reading books, unfortunately, from America, from England, from Germany. The biggest shock I had, and which really brought an impact to me about glaucoma, was when I found out that in Germany, where I come from 20 years ago, we have 30,000 people blind from this disease.
If there's an obstruction here, and that's what happens in glaucoma, the pressure is pumped in, it builds up, it cannot escape, and pushes on the nerve of sight, and the nerve gradually dies.
In a nutshell, the eye has fluid in it. That fluid is replaced 5-6 times a day. The excess fluid on the bottom of the eye, nature has a little drain channel where the fluid comes out and is absorbed back into the bloodstream. Now, glaucoma is a condition, and nobody knows why. That drain channel blocks off.
More recently, we've increased the focus of the glaucoma, emphasizing the fact that if you have a family history, there is a 20% chance that you yourself might have this disease, this problem of the eyes.
20 years ago, I brought 3 little children to to this beautiful country, Australia, which I, by the way, love dearly. Now I have 5 grandchildren. And it occurred to me that perhaps one day, one of my grandchildren or great-grandchildren would face blindness. And I had a horrible thought that one of them would come up to me and would say, "Grandpa, you knew about this. What have you done?" I got a car with a box on it, which says to see or not to see, glaucoma, it can send you blind. Also, I got a caravan with the same signs. I have a T-shirt with the same sign. My booklet is called that because while we're not in shopping centers and given displays, traveling from city to city, being on the road, I know for a fact that many, many people who overtake us will read the message, go home, look in the dictionary, and find out what glaucoma is. So there is many, many ways you can bring a message across to the general public. I prepared posters on glaucoma. The local radio station was kind enough to make an audio clip which runs for 4 minutes on glaucoma. I sat down, I wrote a booklet on glaucoma. So my wife and myself, we decided to go on the road, visit any township who was willing to have me, visit any shopping center who was kind enough to give me permission to set up my exhibition. So this action, giving the public an opportunity to look at me, come up, see what's happening, talk to me. I'm willing to answer any questions I've been asked. Then go home, and by word of mouth, and with the help of my booklet and brochures and pamphlets and so on, spread the word about glaucoma. My ships are a hobby of mine for a long, long time. I've been building model ships as a hobby for over 20 years now. Naturally, I've been funding my campaign partly out of the sale of a few ships. But they take many, many hours to build, and the material costs are pretty high. So it is not a business proposition. I make a bit of a joke, that is, if you want to experience starvation, become an artist.
I think he's a remarkable man. He's spent his own monies and resources in taking his beautiful models from town to town throughout the country to act as a sort of focus of interest, but then using that as an opportunity to share his own experience and to distribute information about glaucoma disease. And so he's accepted the position of liaison officer with the Save Sight Institute to further community understanding about glaucoma.
Unfortunately, 5 years ago I was pensioned off because of a spinal injury I received in Germany many, many years ago. No, I never been a rich man. But the cause, what I'm trying to do, is so close to me and my wife, Erika, that after long discussions, we put every penny we own into this campaign with the hope that perseverance and not only talking, following it up with action, something will happen.
So why does he do it? I don't think it's for any of us to try to see into the heart of another person. I think the reasons we do anything in this world are complex. I think fundamentally we do them because we want to do them and they give us satisfaction. If they're useful, then I think the community may benefit from it.
I just simply believe in the cause that something should be done. If I would be out for fame and fortune, I'm sure I would have picked a different subject and object. I must admit, I get great personal satisfaction when people come up to me and say, "Congratulations, Mr. Kaiser. We seen you, or we heard you, or we read about you, and we had our eyes tested, and we don't have glaucoma." This is worth more than all the tea in China.
Rolf Kaiser, the crusader against glaucoma.